So here we are starting off in the category 4-5 Masters, and here's the hole shot. I'm going fairly hard, but again, I'm new at this game, so I'm taking it easy just to till I get things figured out more. So I'm moving along, passing up that guy, actually holding even with him. This corner, people said it was best to take it short. I took it wide, but not too bad. So back down the park here, and now we come in and around this little maze right here, some tight twisty trees here, and then we've got an interesting feature coming up, something I handled pretty well in practice. It was slightly different in reality here. So we go downhill, I'm on the brakes, come around this tree here, and now you'll notice that pine tree on the right there. That's where I was always trying to turn, not this one on the left. The one on the left was much easier to make than the one on the right, so that was cool. And then we come around here, we've got some technical-ish turns here, some hard rights, and then we're back up to speed here. So now we got a little power section here, a little bit off camber and straight away. Nothing real hilly, but you're just working the side of that hill here, and I'm catching up. I'm not getting dropped from these guys, but I'm not catching them either. And then a little dip there, and now here comes another interesting part. This little climb right here I was always able to make in practice without a problem, but now I'm trapped behind these guys. I'm moving faster, so I come out to the right to pass, and I lose grip and I go down. And the difference here is it was a little bit wet, so I just lost traction, and then instead of getting up and running, I'm not real charging about this. I'm not running the bike, I'm kind of walking the bike here, and now since we've got it downhill into some soft section, I want to make sure I'm good and clipped in before I do that. Later on in the race, I just go. I get on the bike, push it downhill, jump on and go. But this is my first time through, so I want to make sure I'm good and ready for this downhill. And yeah, it's costing me big time. So again, we're doing slow motion right now. So yep, I lose a couple spots, and now we're back up to motion. See, that was the section I was talking about. I want to be clipped in for that. So again, we got a straightaway, more power section here. So I'm just hanging out with this guy. He's pulling away a little bit here, and moving along this hard tack here. Okay, so now we've got a maze here, and as we come out the maze, I lose a little more time on this guy. He seems to have a little more ability to get around these corners faster than I do. So, and these mazes are kind of fun. And then now we're basically straight away again. We got a little straight away, and then we got a little dip into the woods again with a barrier to get over. So here's our barrier. So I get over the barrier fairly good. Now again, this is where I wanted to get good and clipped in, but instead of worrying about it, I just went and worked my way in. And then we've got a staircase here, and as usual, I'm not going to try anything fancy here. I get off, I shoulder the bike, and I'm moving pretty good here. I'm early in the day, early in the race, so I'm not too winded. Put it down, and then get going. Again, I'm taking a little bit of time coming off that staircase, so lose a spot there. And now I'm back on the bike, working the maze. Also, remember the Cat 4-5 Masters 35 Plus group left about a minute in front of us, so you might see others on the course. Those are not necessarily people I am chasing. So this is a fun section right here. We got a little kicker coming up around here. Here's that kicker. And then we have off-camber maze working its way downhill. It lets out into a broad downhill, into a broad sweeping turn. So this was fun. And I was really getting the hang of this maze towards the end of the day, but again, I got to figure that out before the end of the day. So coming through here, this is a little tricky right there. And then we've got a bridge, and then we take a turn to the right, go around that tree and pop up. It's a real tight turn with a little kicker. and then we go across the road and onto the road. That guy on the left there who's course marshaling, that's John Lester. He finished second in the 2017 Trans-America race. Awesome job, that guy, and he's just an all-around awesome guy, and his family too. So come up this kicker, get out back onto the road here, and then John's cheering the Diablos on, everybody on. You know, we're good about that. And then back down the road, so I'm going to open up the speed here. And then we've got another option. It's a staircase, but we can ride up it as well. And this was actually Plan B coming up. Plan A was real tough. I think it would have been tough even on a dry day for people. So now, this is why I wanted to have that Manitowoc run up back, because this is about the same as Manitowoc. And here I am riding. I am not getting off the bike. I am riding my bike. Yeah, I'm in low gear. I'm really low cadence, and I am standing up and I'm just climbing this hill. And this was a very valuable thing. So I've got some friends cheering me on there. I got Sean snapping some photos of me. Thank you, Sean. Sean Wardle, the cyclist. So coming around here, now I see somebody. I've got a target, and that is really neat because now I've got something to really go for. So I'm putting on the power here, working to catch that guy. And as you can see, I am closing the gap here, and pretty soon I will catch him. So that's really neat. And then there's someone in front of him as well. So I've got something to work for. That's always a neat feeling. So I'm just trying to figure out the best way to get around him here, and then I finally get a line and get a space where I can do that. And then we go around the pavilion, and then we'll come up on our third really cool feature of this race course. And it's off camber again, and then it sweeps downhill and around down by the Fox River, and then you come back uphill. In this area, they had a feature for the advanced racers as well, but they had that shut off for us neophytes. So coming along here off camber, and then just around that tree there, you get into the dark by that light pole. It sweeps around to the left, and that's a downhill. So kind of breathtaking right here, because if you don't get things right, you could end up going for a swim in the Fox River. So I'm just taking it easy right now. Got my braking, and now I let it go, and then we'll take that turn. Now again, you got to be a little bit careful because you got these leaves here, and we got wet from rain the day before, so you got to be careful. So now we go back up the hill. Now this is something I've done in practice quite a bit, and so I knew I could do this. So my tactics for this were to hit the hill on the left side here, stay tight to the left, and then get up, and then as the going got hard, I would work my way over to the right side, kind of traverse the hills, flatten it out a little bit at least, and then I'm way tight to the right here. I'm in the bushes, and then I start getting to the point where I start cutting back across, and now I made up a lot of time on this gentleman here, and I can catch him and get in front of him, which I will do shortly here, very shortly actually. So now it's interesting when you're in last place, you know, you don't have anybody behind you. Maybe you're working not to get lapped, but there's not a lot of motivation to go hard unless you see somebody in front of you. And in my previous races, I didn't see that person. This race, I see people in front of me I'm working to catch, and I know there are people in back of me who could potentially catch me. So now I'm thinking two things. I got to keep up a good effort to see if I can pick anyone else off. Oh, there's somebody else right there. And then I got to keep that effort up to not get caught by the people behind me, as well as the idea that I can't make any more mistakes. I can't fall down again. When I fall down, I stand a chance of getting caught. And so we go around the bar here. Yep, that was a bar. They were serving beer there. I don't know if they were, yeah, they were serving at that time. Buddies of mine were handing out beers, trying to hand out beers to me as I was coming around that. And then back around that one turn, and then just down the park. So yeah, so that's the first lap of the Diablo River Cross, and it was a beautiful day. It was warm again, and it was a very festive event. As I said, there was a bar there. They were serving food and beer, macro beers, and then we had the bar that was doing that was Tanner's from Kimberly, and then the Stone Arch or the Stone Cellar folks were out as well serving their microbrews, and I had some of both after my racing was done. And we also had a large contingent of Hornets out, unfortunately, and they were looking to stock up for the winter, and people were getting stung. So that was the only downer about this day being so nice. But you got to take all of that with it. So it was a beautiful day. There was a good turnout. People from the neighborhood came out to watch the race and to see what was going on. And I think I'll see some of those on the bike next summer, riding around, maybe joining in cyclocross practice. So here I am again, trying to get clipped in before I hit that. That was silly of me. I'm losing time to the person in front of me, giving time back to the people in back of me. So working this power section, I still got somebody in my sight to catch, as well as those gentlemen that I passed behind me. I see them, so I know I got to keep going here. So that was a good thing. I told everybody that I wasn't going to race real hard in this particular race. I've been racing the category 5s up to this point, and this is my first 4-5 race. So I told everybody I was going to use this as a warm-up and more or less a course inspection. It turns out that I probably went much harder in this race than I intended to, which is fine. And the Cat 5, well, we'll look at and talk about the Cat 5 later, but that went well for me. And so here we come back to that dreaded staircase. I really hate staircases. They call them run-ups, but for me it's more of a walk-up. Again, I really don't like to get off the bike. I guess that's nothing new or novel. Most of us probably don't like to get off the bike. Excuse me. But if I'm going to race cyclocross, again, I got to get used to that. Maybe I'll start some running. I'm well into a weight loss program that's showing results, so get my weight down, and maybe next spring I'll start this running program. Who knows, maybe I might even come to like it. We'll see. So back up that kicker, and then into this off-camber maze. Again, this first turn I took slow and tight. This turn was another slow and tight turn. This turn was, you could take a little bit faster, it seemed to me. Obviously it's leading in a straightaway, so you don't have to come around all the way, but you had to be careful down there to make sure you made that turn. Back over the bridge, down the little feature there, up the kicker, and then back out onto the hard surface for the approach to that staircase climb run up. Again, I'm not climbing, or I'm not running up or going up the staircase. I'm climbing on my bike. So yeah, here we go again. I made this pretty much all of the times I was up here. I think this might have been it. I did get stuck, my wheel stuck in a stair near the top there, so I did have to get out and take a step or two. Excuse me. But for the rest of the event, I handled it pretty decently. I was pretty happy with the way I handled that. So I definitely could have at least given a good shot at that climb / run up in Manitowoc, and I would have done fine. So, but again, that was my first race, so I just didn't know what to expect. People are telling me that generally safe is fast. So again, it comes to this idea of not having to get off the bike. If you have to get off the bike, I guess getting off the bike is faster than crashing, because then you got to get yourself picked up and all of that. So, but again, I prefer to stay on the bike. So, yep, back up this hill. Nope, no, I've got someone else I'm targeting. So, this was real satisfying. And then since this is my home turf event here, you know, there were plenty of people cheering me on, making sure that I knew what to do. And yeah, I hung out behind that guy for a while, and he's contesting my pass, but I'm going to get around him. So yeah, so we come around the bar again. Later in the day, A-Town came and set up and played music for us. It was a really festive event up here. Again, beautiful day. Lots of people came out for this, cyclists and non-cyclists, probably people who have friends in this event, as well as maybe some people who just heard there was beer and food, and they even had a TV set up so people could watch the Packer game that was going on later in the day. Yeah, we are pretty crazy about our Packers here. So then back down around this little section here, yeah, there's that tree. And then, excuse me, I figured any crashing that would have happened probably would have happened there. And I don't know if anyone else how other people did around that, but I didn't have any problems with that. I figured right here it might have been a little dicey too, this off camber and being a little slick. And then the other thing that happened, of course, is it's sunny out, so it's getting dry as the day goes on. And every time I hit this light pole climb right here, I did dismount after that first crash, and I should have probably tried it again, especially now that nobody was here. People were saying that the low line would have worked out the best instead of that high line that I tried to take, or that I was forced to take. But I never did it again. I decided safe is fast, get off the bike, get up, and then just get on and let her run downhill. No need to be clipped in. Of course there's a need to be clipped in, but don't have to do it right then, especially when you're going downhill, straight down a straight. So back into this maze. Yep, I see that guy. I know I got to keep going. I can't stop, can't let up, got to go. And then coming through this maze, couple more turns here, and now I can get on the power. And then again, I preferred to stay tight to the woods there coming out there, not that where everybody else was going. Then here through the barrier, up, over I go, and then over that bridge, get over around this tree, and then stay tight, and then we've got our staircase. This was a little bit of a climb right here, so I really worked hard to make sure I was clipped in so I could get both legs powering around the cycle. And up the staircase I go, back on the bike. I'm being pretty aggressive about getting back on my bike real quick. I'm not lollygagging it at all. So then coming around and up by the ballpark here, and then make this right turn, sweeping to the sweeping left over the kicker into the off camber maze again. Last time, yeah, with the 4.5s and the 5s, they give us a half hour, so that turns out to be about 10 minutes a lap. So I expect about 3 laps in each of these races. So then coming around this sweeping curve, make sure I get that tight on the right there, and then back over the bridge. My last go by John in this race, and then back on the power. And I have other buddies course marshaling and telling me go faster, don't embarrass myself. Yeah, it's always a good thing to hear, people getting you charged up. So back up the climb. I did some course marshaling. I gave John Lester a break after my racing, and I got some food done, and I went down there with my camera, but I spent most of the time paying real close attention to course marshaling duties. That was a pretty busy section there, so we had to control traffic and direct traffic quite a bit to hold them up. I want to say thank you to the people who used the park. They were patient, and I didn't see or hear any grumpiness. Thank you again. It's really cool that you let us do this. This is really good. I hope to see you out here next year spectating. I hope to see you participating. The Open Cat 5, it's fun stuff. So come around this one, the approach down to the Fox River one more time. Soft camber, sweep around the left, go down and around. Stay tight to the left, and then hit it, and then get up and off to the right I go, and then the approach to the finish. So now we're headed to the finish line, and this will be the end of my category 4-5 race, Masters 50 plus. Yeah, geriatric flatulates. Thank you for watching.